The famous black and white stripes of Newcastle were more tempting in the end than the red of Manchester United. And it's not only these fans at Wembley who view this match as a mouth-watering appetizer for the season ahead. If Alan Shearer's 5 goals for England in Euro 96 confirmed he's the game's most complete centre-forward, then Newcastle's £15 million to take him back to his heartland is proof that the Premiership is now the richest league in world football. Alec Ferguson won the race for the championship. Keane won the race for Shearer's signature. It's usually a game of no real significance, but try telling that to the supporters of Manchester United and Newcastle. The atmosphere in Wembley as fantastic as that we enjoyed during Euro 96. Well, the Newcastle number 9 shirt has been generously surrendered by Les Ferdinand, who'll now wear 10. And their £21 million striking partnership is unveiled today. Ferdinand determined to play despite a virus. Alan Shearer is the only summer addition to this Newcastle team, just picked in the race for the championship. Pavel Černíček begins as number 1 choice in goal. Steve Watson continues to displace Warren Barton at fullback, and Faustino Asprilla is just a substitute. If Alan Shearer had gone to Old Trafford, it was feared that the Manchester United side would be virtually unbeatable. Maybe it's a relief to the rest of the Premiership that he didn't. This is effectively the same United side that won the FA Cup final against Liverpool here in May. Paul Scholes, a substitute in that match, now replacing Andy Cole, who has pneumonia. United have changed some of the players' numbers in the summer with a whole boatload of foreign signings arriving at Old Trafford, 5 in all, including Karel Podborski and Jordi Cruyff. Those 5 all among the 7 substitutes, 3 of which can be used. Paul Durkin of Dorset is the referee, and there are no linesmen today, just assistant referees under a new directive from FIFA. Newcastle and Manchester United were top dogs in the Premier Division last season, and surely it's likely to be so again. Liverpool might mount a challenge, and it remains to be seen how the foreign imports can inspire clubs like Chelsea and Middlesbrough. But it's all eyes on these two this afternoon. Here's Beckham now wearing number 10. Giggs goes down the left flank and is ignored. And here's Roy Keane. Wembley pitch, as usual, looks absolutely perfect. Scholes rather overplayed that. And here's Gary Pallister. Dennis Irwin at right back, although of course he can play in either full-back positions very comfortably. Beckham. Cantona. Sharply in with the challenge was David Batty, but Cantona came out with it. Here's Keane. There's offside flag. Paul Scholes, top scorer, second top scorer rather last season, although he wasn't even a regular choice. Just straying a fraction forward. Shearer, booed by the Manchester United supporters, who still feel a little aggrieved. I think that Shearer seemed to avoid 2 possible chances to go to Old Trafford, but maybe the persuasive tongue of Kenny Dalglish, Blackburn's reluctance to sell him to Manchester United, is closer to the truth. Here's Ginola, shot hit Lee. That's Keane breaking forward from midfield. Albert comes out to mark him. Oh, he gets round him. Didn't pick out either of the 2 players that were forward with him. It was Beresford who dealt with it. And Ginola. Space on this left side for Newcastle to flood. Here's Alan Shearer, his first run at a defender. Alistair came and didn't get there. Shearer knocks it up. Well, he's got a fantastic scoring record, Alan Shearer. First man to reach 100 goals in the Premier Division. Scored 30 goals in 3 consecutive seasons for Blackburn Rovers. Just one appearance in a Newcastle shirt so far, the friendly against Lincoln, scored from the penalty spot. The intent was certainly there. Newcastle haven't won a trophy since the Fairs Cup of 1969. They've not won the championship for 70 years, since 1927. But Alan Shearer's arrival at St James's Park may just change all that. Giggs waiting patiently. Still a bad ball, David May. Well, Beardsley sliced it. Cantona. Uncharacteristic by Peter Beardsley. Now here's Ferdinand. Shown a lot of that to Pallister, just enough. An important tackle by Pallister. Over the top of David May. But he won it with his trailing leg rather than the one that I think he intended, but it's a corner anyway. Ginola will take the corner. Albert. It's Cantona. Albert on his right foot. Might have been more threatening if it had been his left. Beresford's the back man. Robert Lee. Newcastle enjoying a spell of possession. Ginola. Paul Durkin has decided free kick Manchester United. It was Beresford who went in very strongly with the challenge on Butt. Fortunately, they both got up unscathed. Scholes invites Philip Neville to come forward from left back. Faced by Watson. Cantona. It's Keane. United having to funnel it to the back man and start all over again. Again, Chernicek patrolling the full width of his penalty area. Beresford. And Ferdinand. This is Batty. Got away again from Rob Lee. One or two of his early touches have been a bit uncharacteristic. Had a good start to the season last time, Robert Lee, although he faded a little bit as the championship race hotted up. Now, Cantona brings Dennis Irwin into the attack. This is Beckham. Roy Keane might think about a shot from here. Well, it was worth a dip by Roy Keane. He got 6 for Manchester United last season. A lot of space in front of him. Well, it should be a lesson to ambitious club chairman that Alex Ferguson didn't win a trophy at Old Trafford in the first 3.5 years that he was there. My goodness, it's changed since then. First team to do the double twice. And here's Scholes. Cantona header down. Peter Beardsley. Not quite functioning, Peter Beardsley and Robert Lee at the moment. Maybe Beardsley can put that right now. Shearer drifting out wide to a winger's position. And that'll be a corner. Off the head of Roy Keane. He's a great crosser of the ball, Alan Shearer. Only 90 minutes before today to familiarise himself with his teammates. As Ferdinand didn't play in that friendly at Lincoln. Philippe Albert did. Scored one of the goals. Ginola with the corner. Ferdinand took it down nicely. Oh, players moved away from him. Able to force the first save from Peter Schmeichel, although it wasn't a testing one. Ferdinand may be surprised at how much space he was allowed inside the penalty area. Pallister. We've had just over 21 minutes in this Charity Shield, and neither goalkeeper has yet had anything really difficult to deal with. Scholes breaks behind Peacock. Chernychek's there and clutches it out of the air. Scholes had shown just a little bit more awareness, perhaps. He might have been able to knock that over the top of the Newcastle goalkeeper. I wonder if Manchester United might make note of just how far out of his goal Pavel Chernychek sometimes seems to be. Free kick, Newcastle. Shearer still waiting for the sort of service from which he can score. Here's Robert Lee. Beardsley takes over. Out to Ginola. He's got a lot to look for. It's Darren Peacock in there. Out by Pallister. Off the chest of Beresford. Batty. Newcastle winning applause from their supporters. Here's David Ginola. Just Scholes in Newcastle's half, and the bounce has favoured him. Cantona supports him. Giggs is arriving on the left. There's plenty of Newcastle supporters, but it's Cantona in on Chernychek. Good save by the Newcastle goalkeeper. Back to Cantona. Best chance of the match, and you have to credit the goalkeeper with a good save. Eric Cantona supporting Scholes, and then look at Giggs streaking down that left side, threading it through two defenders. Chernychek made himself as big as he could, and when it came out to Cantona for the second time, the shot was well wide. Well, how often last season did Eric Cantona prove the match winner for Manchester United? Up at St James's Park in the league, got the goal, which enabled Manchester United to be the only side to take all 6 points off Newcastle last season. Ginola. Beardsley wanted it in the middle, but he is ignored. And here's Ryan Giggs. Philip Neville. United playing it in their own penalty area. That's never a good idea with somebody like Shearer around. Ginola will keep it in. And Beresford. United have stolen it. Beckham. Newcastle masters of their own misfortune here, if that's what it turns out to be. Here's Cantona, a second chance. Yes! The Old Trafford end of Wembley erupts. Cantona, the French genius, does it again. Squandered a chance moments ago, but look how cool he was that time. Waited for Chernychek to commit himself. And a marvellous ball by Beckham. He left Cantona with just the job of scoring, and that's what he does best. The man who almost single-handedly inspired United to that second double last season puts them ahead in the Charity Shield. Newcastle still trying to recover their composure after conceding that goal. David May. Here's Nicky Butt. Philip Neville, younger of the two Neville boys. Giggs trying to pick out Cantona. It's a great ball. Cantona! Sandwiched between two, but neither referee or linesman saw any offence. Shake of the head by Paul Durkin. Terrific delivery by Giggs. Threaded it between the two black and white shirted defenders. Well, there was close contact between Cantona and Beresford, certainly. Irwin finds Giggs, and it's United beginning to exploit space. Here's Cantona again. Cheeky back heel. Beckham. Butt! Nicky Butt! 2-0. Cantona involved. Nicky Butt gets United second. There's the cheeky little back heel. And what a great delivery from Beckham. Spotted the run from midfield by Nicky Butt. 2-0. Wonderful goal. A classic flying header. A great break from midfield. But most importantly, how well he was spotted by Beckham. Inside the last 5 minutes of the first half, Manchester United comfortably ahead in the Charity Shield by 2-0. Goals from Cantona and Nicky Butt. Free kick Newcastle. Well, he doesn't want to say too much, Roy Keane. His temperament's getting him into trouble again. That's a yellow card. Oh, May was underneath it. Ferdinand! Wonderful save. That's what he's there for. A spectator most of the time. Peter Schmeichel confirming in one moment, perhaps, his right to be called the world's #1 keeper. A misjudgment by David May. Ferdinand behind him, thought he'd buried it. Somehow the big man clawed it out. Batty. Finds David Ginola, but the offside flag is up. Not back onside quickly enough. But when Peter Schmeichel missed 4 games last season for Manchester United, they didn't win any of them. That's how valuable he is to them. A save like that, keeping United's 2-0 lead intact as we approach half-time. And Manchester United make an early substitution. Karel Podborski, wearing number 15, can't wait to get on. Nicky Butt, who's gone off, having obviously picked up a knock after scoring his goal. Shearer trying to get it out to Peter Beardsley, waiting patiently. Podborski gets a touch, to much acclaim from the Old Trafford supporters. Not going to be hard to spot, is he, in the coming season, with that distinctive hairstyle. Robert Lee, harried by the new arrival. Podborski, flattened by Beresford. Welcome to football in England. Here's Beckham, that's short, stolen by Robert Lee. Ginola, Lee, Ginola, well won by Irwin. substitution has just disrupted Manchester United a little bit at the moment. Schoenicek coming yards out of his area. Ryan Giggs, Keane, Philip Neville, Beckham, Pallister. Manchester United still knocking it around with confidence as we move into the last minute of the first half. Lee and Batty at the heart of the Newcastle engine room, still trying to get things going. Here's Ferdinand taking up a good position. Schmeichel's come to him. Out by Gary Pallister. Well, it's Ferdinand who's threatened the most of the front two. Keane. Podborski, nice touch. Shoney was knocked down by Beresford for the second time in the space of a few minutes. But it's not a free kick, it's half-time. Well, the Toon Army came to cheer their new £15 million player, Alan Shearer. But in the end, they've been silenced in the first 45 minutes of this Charity Shield by an outstanding performance from Manchester United. Shearer's had very little service. Manchester United have at times looked irresistible. Cantona put them ahead. Nicky Butt got the second before he went off with what appeared to be an injury above the eye. At half-time here at Wembley, it's Manchester United 2, Newcastle 0, and the boys in red are well in control. Alec Ferguson with a lot to feel excited about as he goes into the dressing room at half-time. Kevin Keegan with lots to ponder. Gary Neville on at the start of the second half as a replacement for Dennis Irwin. Newcastle have made no changes. Alan Shearer was in the losing team in the Charity Shield last season. A Blackburn team defeated 1-0 by Everton. Crowd of only just over 40,000 for that game. It was the lowest in 22 years of the Charity Shield at Wembley. The full house today have been treated to a real vintage performance so far, certainly from Manchester United. Newcastle will want to do better and need to do better in this second 45 minutes. But it's at the back that they've looked most troubled and most unsettled. Kevin Keegan, one sent-off player in the Charity Shield. Batty. Knocked in by Ginola. Watson. Oh, he might have had a chance to hit it first time. The Shearer headed down. He won it very well. But in the end, it was neither on the target nor at the feet of his partner Ferdinand. Watson's cross. Shearer left to reflect, but he might have directed it differently. Cantona, again, popping up all over the place. Here's Philip Neville. The intention was right, just the execution let it down. Batty quickly into the space which Philip Neville had vacated. Robert Lee. Ginola. Beard. Shearer. Well, they've all appealed and Paul Durkin has agreed. Newcastle corner. If Newcastle could pull one back, it might just change the whole shape of this match. Over half an hour left. Here's Robert Lee, drilled in by Lee. Plucked out of the air by Schmeichel. Lee again, to have another crack perhaps. Went across the keeper to the top corner. And it was high, but Robert Lee perhaps showing Newcastle the way back, but they've got to get it past Peter Schmeichel. And the two glorious chances that they've had, Ferdinand in the first half, and a great volley there by Robert Lee. Haven't beaten the big Dane. Who says goalkeepers don't win matches? Newcastle perhaps lifted by those Robert Lee efforts. Ferdinand. It's by Gary Neville. Here's Batty. Ginola. Robert Lee, another shot from Lee out by Pallister. Newcastle perhaps sensing there may be a way back for them here. Shearer, almost got it back to Albert, and it would have been on his left side as well. It's lit a fuse in Geordie voices, and suddenly the Toon Army is awake. Here's Watson. David Batty. Beardsley. Ginola. Beardsley trying to get something going. There was a little push between Albert and Gary Neville on the edge of the penalty area. That's a bit unnecessary by the Belgian. Oh, he's been thrown to the floor by Cantona. What will Paul Durkin do here? The moment is on a knife edge, and maybe Paul Durkin just giving himself a few moments to collect his thoughts. Philippe Albert eyeballing young Gary Neville. Cantona forcefully moving him out of the way. Albert ended up on the floor, and we're all waiting to see what colour card it is. It's yellow. Well, it was certainly stupid by Cantona, but maybe it didn't deserve a sending off. Alec Ferguson nonetheless looking anxiously. The boos ring out from Newcastle supporters, but in truth perhaps the right decision. Free kick taken and wasted. But it's given Newcastle supporters something to bite on. Cantona only had one yellow card when he returned to the Manchester United side last season in the 38 games that he played. He was a controlled and respected figure, and Newcastle have made that change. Asprilla comes on to replace Peter Beardsley, and Manchester United about to make a change as well. Scholes, the player who is replaced by Jordi Cruyff, wearing the number 14 of his father Johan, who's in the crowd at Wembley to watch his debut for Manchester United. Darren Peacock. Ferdinand. Here's Batty. Beresford. Ginola. Watson. Asprilla. Batty keeps the attack going. To the back post. Ferdinand trying to let it run out for what would have been a corner, but Podgorski helped to keep it in. Beresford with the outside of the foot. Watson, who stretched, and goal kick. It's better by Newcastle. You feel that they're edging closer all the time. Outside of the foot by David Ginola. Just a stretch too far. Albert. Shearer. Back to Albert. He stumbled, Albert. There's no foul. Pallister won it. A friendly word exchanged. Schmeichel commits himself. Now racing back to his goal. Well, if Newcastle could peg one back, what a finish we would have. Asprilla. Robert Lee. Albert didn't have an opening for his shot, and now there's a break from Cantona. Beresford's trying to cover him. Look how far Pavel Černíček has come. And he plants that somewhere deep into the terraces to give himself plenty of time to get back. This is Beresford. Faustino Asprilla. Swept across his forehead rather than a solid connection. Well, as we move into the last 10 minutes, Manchester United supporters re-finding their voices, having been silenced in this second half by Newcastle's fight back. Maybe confidence beginning to grow. Oh! That would have been one to haunt a goalkeeper for the rest of his career. Under the feet of Černíček, and a bit more pace on it in a slightly different direction. And how embarrassing that would have been. Podgorski. Giggs. Finds Beckham in a good crossing position. Cantona resisted the push of Watson to make sure that he won it. That would have wrapped it up. But it's a delicious cross again from Beckham. Swinging away from the goalkeeper. And here's Albert. It's all pressure from Newcastle in these closing moments. But it's safely in the welcoming grasp for Peter Schmeichel. Here's Cantona. Oh, Beckham's made a great break from the halfway line. Černíček comes out of his area. Number 3. Where did Newcastle's defence go? Cantona, embraced by his teammates. It was a goal out of nothing. Beckham timed the run, and there wasn't a Newcastle defence to speak of. Černíček backpedaling, completely isolated. 3-0 Manchester United, and Newcastle have been humbled in the Charity Shield. An outstanding afternoon for David Beckham, goal provider and goal scorer. Newcastle force a corner, but in the end it's all too late, and Kevin Keegan, with much to ponder, away to Everton next Saturday in the Premiership, and that begins to look a tricky fixture for the team who felt that £15 million for the signature of Alan Shearer would be their passport to the Championship, as it was for Blackburn Rovers before them. Still a long way to go, of course. I remember that Manchester United were 3-0 down in their first league match of last season at half-time at Aston Villa, but went on to win the title and win the double. So don't write them off after one defeat, but it certainly isn't what Shearer and Keegan and the Toon army wanted or expected. Here's Podborski. Knocked down by Lee, free kick. Well, that third goal by Manchester United said everything about the vision of a player who can spot the opening and open things up with just one pass. Giggs shaping to take the free kick. Beckham with him as well. Here's Roy Keane. Oh, it's caught! Keane with a blockbuster from outside the penalty area. And it's a long road back to Newcastle from here. Could have done better, he got his hands to it, there was swerve on it, perhaps he was going the wrong way, but it's the fourth United goal, and it's a brilliant performance by the team that won the double last season. Gillespie behind Shearer. David made it clear. Here's Keane. Who would have thought it? The match in which Alan Shearer was heralded as the star. Newcastle were going to flex their muscles and show the Premiership what they're all about. And it's a drubbing. It's 4-0. Shearer's hardly had a chance. And United have looked irresistible. There's not a smile on Alec Ferguson's face, but you can guarantee he's an extremely happy man. Here's Giggs. Cantona waiting to break. Space on the left, on the right rather, for Podborski. Gary Neville goes outside into Cantona. Having survived that long spell of second-half pressure from Newcastle, United have suddenly sprung twice in the second half and made the game absolutely safe. They absorbed everything that Newcastle threw at them. Let's not forget some good saves by Peter Schmeichel that might have changed the face of the match. But in the end, you'd have to say Newcastle just haven't been good enough. And Giggs breaks behind them again. He's got two in the middle. Is Cantona there? Jordi Cruyff is there. And if he'd put it into Cantona, maybe that would have been 5. Newcastle are just torn to pieces. People are pointing, people are shouting. Podborski knocks it in. Out by Watson. Here's Keane. Has another go. Clawed away by Chernicek. And Manchester United are all over them. Beat them twice in the Premiership last season. 2-0 at Old Trafford, 1-0 at St James's Park. It's 4-0 here at Wembley. And it's not over. We're into time, added on for stoppages. In a Charity Shield, where the two best teams in the league last season were pitted against each other. And Manchester United have taken the honours Football's Coming Home was the song that echoed around this Wembley Stadium throughout England's progress in Euro '96. Shearer's Coming Home was the song that the Newcastle fans were singing before the kick-off. Aspria. Shearer. Well, that would have put a little bit of a smile on it for Newcastle and Shearer. But the kid who stood on the Gallowgate end terrace and cheered his beloved Newcastle as a boy, now in the black and white stripes. It's his second match, having played in a friendly 2 nights ago against Lincoln. Not enjoying the sort of afternoon that he would have wished. You only have to repeat the scoreline. It's Manchester United 4, it's Newcastle 0. The team that took the double last season have won the Charity Shield here at Wembley with an outstanding display of football. And nobody in more deserve of praise than 21-year-old David Beckham. Paul Durkin has a word with Alan Shearer about how the afternoon unfolded, but Newcastle will have to sit and reflect long about what took place here, because they just could not match Manchester United. They couldn't break them down when they had spells of possession, and when United attacked, their defence was found wanting. It's a long walk up those steps when you're the losers in a cup tie, even if it is the Charity Shield. Sir John Hall, whose millions have made the Newcastle dream possible, applauding his players as they receive their runners-up tokens. Cantona was subject to some hostility when he made this long walk at the end of the cup final against Liverpool. Glad to say that is not the case today, but that's the trophy that awaits. Cantona leading his players to accept a Charity Shield that they've won 8 times previously, this the 9th. An outstanding performance by Manchester United. Cantona with the first goal after 25 minutes. Nicky Butt, a diving header with the second on half an hour. And then, having survived that long spell of Newcastle pressure, United with 2 goals in the last 5 minutes. David Beckham on 85, Keane on 87, and the star of the match for me would certainly be young David Beckham.
Well, the first half was fair performance by us, and some saying that, you know, that is that the best you've ever played at Wembley, and I think it is, but it's also, and I'm not overstating the mark, I think they're only reaching their expectation, the standard that we expect of them, because they've played it out many times, but when you do it at Wembley, there's obviously a tremendous emphasis, and it makes it stand out a bit more, you know.
But the youngsters seem to be maturing so quickly, so fast.
Well, it was a question mark I always put to players once they've won the trophy. Are they hungry? Are they still hungry? For our young players, they've got many things to achieve yet. You know, there's a lot of mountains to conquer, and the good part for me today was they showed the hunger today. I was pleased with that, I must admit.
I was disappointed with the passion my team showed first half. You know, I don't like prima donnas, never did as a player, won't put up with him as a manager. And we had a few just strolling out there thinking, well, you know, we bought Alan Shearer and he's going to score goals, and we've got David Jones, he's going to make something, and we've got Les, he's going to get us a goal from a header somewhere. And we looked like everybody was waiting for something to happen, and nobody was making it happen. And lack of passion is the thing that annoyed me in first half. Second half was better, commitment was better, football was better, possibly unlucky to lose the second half 2-0. But take nothing away from Man United, their approach was right, their passion was right, their football was excellent, and in Cantona Giggs, I thought they had the two best players on the field by an absolute country mile, and you can't take anything away from them.
Eric, what pleased you most about today's performance?
It's the first game of the season. It's important. That's a trophy. It's one more trophy. So it was an important game at Wembley, and, but it's not important than that.
It seems as though the youngsters in your team grow with every game. Do you see it that way?
Of course, it's normal. More they will play, more they will become better. If they work hard, they work very hard in training, and are very concentrated in the game. So they want to learn, and they learn very quickly.
How does that result bode for the rest of the season?
I don't think it, reflects on what's going to happen next season. We've beat Newcastle, but it's not the league, so it's the Charity Shield. So we've just got to go out and do it in the league as well.
Eric, you're now captain of the team. How does that make you feel?
I'm very proud. I didn't ask anything, but now I'm the captain. I will try my best, and we will see after. I don't know. I try my best.
And that win for Manchester United was the most emphatic in the Charity Shield for 18 years. Well, with all the talk these last couple of weeks about Alan Shearer, everyone seemed to have forgotten about last season's hero. But it's quite clear Eric Cantona's not yet ready to relinquish his crown. The Premiership gets underway again next Saturday, and we'll be back with Match of the Day. From Wembley, good night.
How did England fare at Headingley today? Cricket highlights next on BBC One.